Hey, you haven't heard from me in a while, and I wanted to make a video about the reason why that is. So, 6 months ago, we got back from our trip from Portugal, and I noticed that I was feeling very tired. Also, I noticed that I got very nauseous sometimes. And I felt kind of repulsed by eating meat or eggs or anything with a lot of fat. And I started to skip a lot of meals. And that is not something I regularly do. Also, because I wasn't eating that much, I started to lose weight. But the thing that I noticed the most was that I didn't feel like working. So maybe you know I'm a home maker and also homesteader, so my daily tasks are all in and around the house, and I love doing that. And I didn't feel like doing anything. Even when I had the energy, I felt like, oh no, I want to stay in the couch. We went to the ER at a certain point when I felt so weird. It was hard to describe what I felt. I felt like nauseous and like my blood pressure could go down suddenly, and it scared me. So we went to the ER, but they didn't find anything. When we got back and it kept on going on, suddenly I thought, I have been a psychotherapist for 10 years, by the way. Suddenly I thought I have depression, that I didn't see it before, like lack of interest in doing things I used to do, being very tired, not eating. And I was like, oh my god, that's it. And I called my mom to tell her, like, Mom, I think I have depression. I think that's the reason why I feel so bad. She was like, okay, really? Wow. And didn't take long before we got to the second visit to the ER, and every time they investigated things, took my blood, did scans. They took an MRI of my head because they thought like a change in behavior could be the reason if the cancer had spread to my head. But there was nothing on the scan. So for the people who don't know, in 2022 I had the diagnosis of skin cancer melanoma. I felt a relief to have at least like a reason why I felt this way. But I thought I had a depression, but that was not what's going on. When we got back from our second visit to the ER, things even got worse. Like my muscles were sore every day, like so sore that you almost feel like throwing up. I did throw up every day. So I knew in my gut something was going on, but I didn't know what. But the only thing I could think of is like, I do have stage 4 cancer. Maybe things got even worse. But why don't they find anything? But we didn't do a total body scan yet. So something I also noticed was like this agitation in my body that I could not really put my finger on it. I was like, it was not, I'm a nervous person, that I know, but I was not that nervous. Like I couldn't sit still and I didn't know where to go in the house. I didn't know what to do. That was really uncomfortable and unfamiliar for me. After every visit from the ER, we were like more clueless than we had answers. But when we went the fourth time, the gynecologist started to say like, maybe it's not a thing on its own, because I had very high infection values in my blood, like super high. Normally, I think they have to be -5, and mine were like 250 to 370. So there was something going on, and they put me in the hospital for a week with antibiotics, and then it went down. But for the moment, from the moment they took the antibiotics away, it got back up. So when we went the fourth time to the ER, we finally concluded like we cannot really do something about these infection values because it's probably the cancer that has spread. And then finally they took a scan of my abdomen. They took a scan of my abdomen, and at that time I already had the cancer spread to my lungs and to my kidneys. But then at the scan they saw that it also spread to my liver, to my skin, like under my skin. There were these tumors under my skin. I was merely on my spine and on my neck and face. So the vertebrae were dented, and I got smaller. I just got smaller. So they got dented, and because the tumors were there and they were eating away the bone. And I was like, okay. At that moment I surrendered, because I surrendered into the allopathic medicine, because I have a very negative relationship with allopathic medicine all my life. Like, my mom is a herbalist and she always gave us like tinctures and herbs, all kinds, to stay healthy, and we almost never went to the doctor. And she teach me that you have to be very careful with allopathic medicine. Not just go to it immediately, but look in nature for answers. And I myself, maybe because of the warnings, I had a very negative relationship with doctors and with hospitals. And I was very afraid of the side effects of the immunotherapy. And I tried all kinds of natural remedies and mental remedies. You can see it in my previous videos if you're interested. And maybe you are very repulsed by the idea. I understand that some people think I might be crazy, but if there is something you believe in, and I still believe it, then it is very powerful and strong. And if you're thinking like, okay, I don't like this, and that's okay. You don't have to like it. I'm just telling my truth. That's the point of my videos and my channel, is talking about my truth, even if some people don't like it. But if you don't like it, just happily move on. Maybe some people find inspiration in that, and maybe some people find irritation in that. And that's completely fine. But the thing is, like, I have cancer since 2022. I tried all the things I knew to heal it without too much allopathic medicine. But since September, when I came back from Nashville, like the Joe Dispenza retreat, I said to myself, like, if the cancer has been spread even more, then I will do immunotherapy. So that was last September. I knew when it got worse, I would surrender to the allopathic medicine. And that was a big, big deal for me. Like, a lot of people think maybe, of course you do, you had to do it way sooner. Like, some people said to me, but to me it doesn't really matter. Because it was my journey, and I had to have the power to surrender, because you need a lot of power to surrender. How much of a contrast that may be, but for me it took me years to say yes to immunotherapy. So we started right away, and I had 3 treatments. So I had to have, I think in total, 4 heavy treatments and 4 lighter treatments with a combination of products. And after Now, when I had to have my 4th treatment, that was in December, I felt so awful. I felt so ill and so sick. When the morning of my 4th treatment came, I couldn't lift myself out of my bed. We had to call an ambulance to transport me to the hospital, and when my oncologist saw me, she said immediately, like, we cannot go on with immunotherapy. Let's see in the scans if it worked for you. And the scan showed even more growth, so it didn't work at all. I didn't respond well to it. I don't know why. It's 50% chance that people either respond well or don't respond well at all. But I was so lucky that there was a mutation in my genes. It's called a BRAF mutation, and they already investigated that, I think, a year ago, to see if I had that gene. If you had that gene, you are responsive to a medicine called BRAF. These are pills. The other one, immune therapy, was by IV. So they said, like, okay, there is 85% chance that you respond well to the BRAF. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But I didn't think much of it, because I have to say, by that time I was very numb. I didn't take information well in my head somehow. I remember one time that Dieter came in. I was still at home by that time, and he said to me, "Hi Lisa, how are you feeling?" And I felt this. I had to gather so much strength to give him an answer, and my answer was good. I couldn't converse anymore. I was so exhausted. I was so occupied by the pain, because they couldn't really get. I had painkillers, but they didn't work well together, or they weren't strong enough. So we went to the pain clinic and they gave me a new combination, and that helped better, I have to say. Like, the pain got doable, but I still was very occupied by it. I was so locked up inside, and so my body was like a plank. I was not relaxed. My muscles were so sore of just tensing up, of like protecting myself from the pain. They told me about the BRAF, and we started at my mom's birthday. I never forget that. It was her birthday when we started the pills. And it was so soon, so immediate, that these pills were working. After 3 days, I could lift myself from my bed, which I wasn't able to do alone in the last couple of weeks. So I lifted myself from the bed. It was hard work, but I could do it. At that I knew these pills are working. And what are these pills doing? They reduce the tumors, but they don't heal the cancer. So they have the capability of reducing the tumors, so you regain strength and you regain energy and you can go back to activities. And so you have the strength to find a new treatment, because I still have to have treatments in some way or form, because BRAF rarely heals the cancer. And that is actually something that I'm so grateful for, these pills, because now I can cook again, I can walk again. I was walking with crutches, I was going with a walker to the toilet. I couldn't lift myself back up from the toilet, so we had to have these like a metal construction that we bought so I can push myself back up. When I wanted to take paper for the toilet, this side of my back hurt so bad I couldn't take it. I was so frustrated. And week by week, when we took the when I took the bath, all these things went away. Like I could bend over again, I could cook, I could walk around, and now I am already doing yoga again to feel more flexible, to feel more strength. And my whole family had a sigh of relief when I told them I could lift myself from the bed. Like my mom has been sitting next to my bed for months, like helping me clean, but especially like giving me strength and being an outlet to, so I could speak my truth, speak my feelings. And she was there when like I felt powerless or scared. She always gave me a new perspective so I could find my power again. My dad came along, my sister came along. They all helped me with preparing meals and giving me company, because it's a long day when you're in bed all day long. I think I read 25 books or something. I can easily say that I passed through the flames and rise from it. It was a dark hole. It was a very dark hole. And at that time I tried not to think too much. No, I say it differently. I really lived moment by moment, day by day. I really closed off every future perspective because I did not have any control over it. I did not know how long I would be in pain. I did not know how things were going to turn around if the immunotherapy didn't work. So I just lived day by day. I only realized that afterwards, like now I can cry about it. But I did not used to cry when I was in that bed. When I got back home, a nurse came to help me with my toiletry in the morning. But after 2 weeks, I was already able to do it by myself. There was a smart nurse who said, "You don't have to lay in the bed to be washed. Let's try the shower." And then I realized, hey, this is working out. And then I didn't need the nurse anymore. And I could clean, I could cook again. I still take it easy. Like in the morning, I'm just trying to focus on doing yoga, getting back my flexibility, my mobility, my strength. I do my meditation. I do my face yoga exercises. I feed the animals, and then I prepare our lunch. So that is a slow morning. And in the afternoon I do some tasks like weeding in the garden, working in my kitchen garden. My dad helps me. And I didn't know if I would be strong enough to do it, but if I saw myself change every week, I thought like, by this summer I have to be strong enough to work in my garden. And I am. And I'm so pleased with that. I'm so like, yesterday was such a beautiful sunny day with like a breeze, and I was like, I'm so grateful. I'm standing here doing things that I love, enjoying like the trees and the cows and the pasture, and I was looking at everything. The buttercups that are blooming, the roses, so beautiful, and I'm able to enjoy all that. That makes me super happy. When I was in my bed, I was like, I want to let go of control more when I do my tasks. The funny thing is, nobody is paying attention, or as like Dieter will never say, "Didn't you do this or that today?" He's so chill in these things. So it's only pressure that I'm putting on myself. And when I was laying in that bed, I said like, will you please enjoy it even more? Will you stop putting pressure on yourself? And I have to say, it's so hard. Like the surrendering is so hard. That's very conflictuous, right? Because surrendering is hard. But that's my experience, and maybe it's a lot, like a lot of you have that experience as well. I always want to get it done, and I want to get it done right. But when I was in that bed, I said, Liz, you will have to remember that when you're out there again, that you enjoy it. Just enjoy it, for God's sake. And I have to say, I have to remember that again, because I'm got back in control, to control again. So I have to find a way to enjoy it, but I will find a way. And it's crazy how much gratitude you feel for the people that help you, you know. Without them, I don't even know where I would be right now. I think if you don't have a good surrounding when you are that ill, it's terrible to think what could happen then. The gratitude and the love and tenderness that I feel when I think about my family and my partner who helped me, and they all helped me in a different way. It's so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Now I'm here making my first video after this hiatus. I'm so happy about that. It took me a while to gather the energy to do that and to share my story, because it's not easy actually to tell these kind of things. I remember a moment that even my goddaughter, she put my slippers under the bed and she said, Mitty is sick, she needs to go slow to the bathroom. She's so cute. Now I prepare meals again for me and Dieter. I go grocery shopping. I drive the car and I ride my bike. And I work in the garden and I can do yoga again. These are the things I appreciate because it's so easy to take them for granted. It's such a cliche, but it's when you actually experience that. It's a big deal to experience that transformation from being able to do it to not being able to do it to being able to do it again. And it's like you have milestones everywhere you go or everything you do. I say a lot to Dieter, like, it's the first time I do X or Y, and he's like, wait, that's so good. It's like all these milestones. Like when I told him I drove the car to do grocery shopping, he was like so excited. That's such good news. And it is. It's not just normal, because it can be taken away from you. And that's quite something. What I need to do now is find a solution for complete healing. And my mom always said that you have to be 100% convinced that you will heal. And in the beginning I found that hard. Like in the beginning I got sick in bed. I found that I was not completely convinced. But now I just know that I am healed. And it's only a matter of time to find a permanent solution. So that's actually really exciting. I feel already healed before I am completely healed. And that is exactly the teaching of Dr. Joe Dispenza. So I'm very pleased to know that I'm starting to really get what he means. That's actually the essence of manifesting. Stop asking for what you want and live like you already have it. There we go. I have always believed since the moment I got cancer, cancer is not here to kill me, but it is here to teach me. And even if it kills me, I have learned lessons. And I went through experiences that are very important to me. And that on its own is surrendering. So I'm very grateful to feel that I'm already practicing surrender. And I believe in that. And if you get triggered by this, I feel you. This is not an easy message. But it's my message. It's my experience, so I'm sharing it. So there you have it. That's the reason I haven't been hearing from you for 6 months. I'm so happy a lot of you are still out there. I'm so grateful for your patience. We got back onto it, and I hope I can see you again and you can follow my journey along. See you later. Thank you.